Hello, people. It's your boy Usmaan back again with another Manchester United podcast. As always, giving you the latest news and talking points surrounding our beautiful club. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Without further ado, introducing today's panel, we got a homie from Trafford Tunnel, DJ. Oh, Beers, what we saying, brother?
Come on. Glazers out, bro. Glazers out
Yes.
each and every time, bro. Each and every time.
You love to see it. You love to
Come
see it,
on.
man. I need to get one of the scarves still for the protest next week. Obviously, we'll be touching upon that United missing. Yes, boys. Yes, brother. What you saying? And also to introduce you, he was here last week as well. We got Yusuf in the building. How you doing, Yusuf?
I'm well, thanks, man. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, I'm feeling in good spirits. I suppose the Leeds game kind of bored the shit out of most of us. I suppose that's probably the best place to start, really. I'm just gonna throw my sort of 2 cents in it. I've got to be honest. I'm not really that bothered about that game. In the sense that it didn't really mean much to me. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong. I wanted to see a bit of entertainment. I think that's why I was more disappointed, because I thought we should have just went for it, because we didn't really have much to lose. We didn't particularly have anything to gain from winning that game. Okay, hypothetically speaking, or mathematically speaking, should we say, we're still next to City, 8 points off them. But there wasn't really much to lose. So I kind of felt like Ollie should have just went for it and just thought, what, if we lose the game, obviously don't want to lose the game, but if we lose the game, so be it. We're not realistically going to fall out of top four. Arbiz, what was your thoughts on the Leeds game, just quickly?
Yeah, it was a bit of a frustrating game, man. You know what? It was weird, yeah, because we had a week off, and this is our first week off in months.
Exactly, yeah.
Then we come back.
Ty was making such a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, Ty, you're right.
Yeah. And then we come back and just look lethargic and tired, man, and just lack of ideas, man. It was frustrating, and Ole annoyed me, bro. You know, I always back Ole, and it always got his back and that, but he frustrated me that game, bro, because you got one matter sitting on the bench, someone who hasn't played in months, and a game like that where Leeds. To be fair to Bielsa, like, he bamboozled Ole completely, because like I didn't think Leeds were ever going to have a double low block against us, because I'm not seeing them do that much this season. So fully, like, they gave us way too much respect, but we didn't really use that to our advantage. And I feel like a player like Juan Mata sitting on the bench, man, he couldn't open a lock just like that, was benefited, and we just didn't even use it. And it was just a frustrating game, man. The front three were just not up for it at all.
Yeah,
it was just a poor.
It was pretty poor. That's a good point that you made with Mata. Obviously, I didn't really consider him too much as a viable option, but I just feel like, for me, Yusuf, just to come to you, bro, like, he should just roll the dice and experiment slightly. I'm not saying that, go fully gun-ho and just completely, rip up the script, because it's important that we build momentum as well, coming into such an integral game, which is Roma. But yeah, he should have experimented, surely. Or do you feel like what he did, you can't really knock him too much?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with both of you, what you said. I was just frustrated that we just didn't take care of the ball in the sort of the decisive moments, which I guess you could apply that to so many different matches that we've had this season, especially in the draws. I think that was our 10th draw in the Premier League, which has actually ultimately cost us sort of pushing City even further. It's not even the defeats. I mean, we've had 4 defeats, which is actually not so bad considering we lost the very first game of the season. It's just been the draws that have killed us. And I actually thought in that game, I was watching the game, I was convinced that we were going to win. I was like, we're going to score a deflected goal. I kind of felt it, because Mason kept shooting, and I was like, go on, keep shooting that, because if you don't shoot, you're not going to score. And we often try and score sort of very, really, really good goals. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of our goals are always very good.
We don't shoot enough, man. There's a couple of occasions when Bruno could have hit it on his left foot. All we're doing in Rashford as well. It's just like
Daniel James as well, man.
God.
Like, Rashford put it on a plate for him, and he just left it for Bruno. I was just like, what are you doing, bro? Come on,
Bruno
man.
was offside as well, because he took that shit touch, that Daniel James control. And as soon as he interfered with the ball, Bruno was offside. So Bruno did the right thing there at the end of the day. So, but Yusuf, just coming back to what you were saying regarding, obviously, not shooting enough. What do you put that down to? Because look, we've got I'd say we got some greedy players in there. If anything, I think they need to put, it's kind of contradictory, but I feel like when they should shoot, they pass, and when they should pass, they shoot. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, they seem to do the polar opposite of what you'd expect them to do in certain scenarios. Like, Rashford and Greenwood in particular, they're really frustrating at times. Like, what are your thoughts on, the front men in particular?
Yeah, no, as I said, I completely agree. It's almost with Rashford, I love Marcus so much, and I see him, beat a guy, and then he puts him on the floor, and then he cuts back in, and then he always wants to chop again, and it's like, just let it go, because he's got such a good strike. He's got such a good strike on him. Mason is a bit different. Mason he likes to pick it up, and then shift onto his left. I know he's two-footed player. His right foot is very good also, but that's what he was doing against Leeds. He kept shifting it and then sort of trying to go for the shot, but he was forcing it a little bit too much, I felt. And obviously, I mean, I know Martial didn't play, but he have you noticed that? I think the common theme amongst all our forwards, maybe with the exception of Cavani, is that specifically Marcus and Anthony, all their goals have to be sort of like with finesse. You know, when you watch it, it's like, oh, what a goal, rather than a scrappy goal. Like a sort of, I mean, Cavani, I guess, has showed that this season, he gets on the end of on the headers that maybe they won't be in that right space. I don't know if you noticed in the first half against Leeds, Bruno got in on the right-hand side, and he looks up to sort of cross it across just in front of the 5-yard box, 6-yard area. But they've both gone for the cutback. I don't know if you saw it. Mason and then Mason took a bad touch.
Oh, yeah.
But Cavani would have ran. Cavani would have ran for the goal.
Yeah, I think
that's the difference. I think.
I agree. I think Mason actually made the right choice there. I've got to be honest. I think to cut back for him, but Rashford was next to him. Rashford shouldn't have been there. I don't understand why.
One of them should have busted the gut to get.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, one of them new post, and his touch left down. Anyways, but in terms of the front now, you mentioned Dan James, Biz. What should we say about this kid? Like, for me personally, right. And this is coming back to what I was meant by Ollie experimenting. I'm not saying that Amad Diallo should be starting over Dan James. I am not saying that, because he's a young lad. He needs to be bedded in. But you cannot tell me that this kid can't offer the same amount as Dan James in a 20-minute cameo off the bench for Dan James. I'm not hearing it. He's come on against AC Milan. He scored with one of his first touches for the club in a pressured game, right? A huge moment in that season. It was a very important goal, as we saw from the second leg. We struggled to break them down. He's come on, and in that game against AC Milan, he was way better than James. It was levels. There was levels. You could tell by the manner in which he was. His touches on the ball, he was a lot more confident. Just his ability to manipulate the ball, he just looked like a better player. Again, I might be over exaggerating slightly here, but I just don't understand why is Dan James getting this luxury of 90? Well, I know he got 70 minutes, but it's just, why is he getting so many opportunities? And I'm not knocking him. It's more on Ollie. Why is Ollie persisting with him? And he quite clearly is out of his depth.
You know what though? Daniel James did actually score with his first touch for United against Chelsea. 4-0. Nah. Do you know what? Yeah,
that was a beautiful moment, by the way.
It was. But do you know what? So if I could take back that moment, I would, because it meant he came in and he scored that goal, and it was like Ole was like, "Oh my God, what have I just stumbled over? Like, I'm gonna throw him in the first team." And he literally started the game against Wolves the next week after that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think he's meant to be this signing. He's meant to come straight in. He's meant to be like the way he's been used this season has been perfect. He's been a utility player. He's been coming, plays a few games. It's actually not been too bad, but when he starts, you can just see like the quality is just not there.
He's he's not good enough, man.
You're right. He's not good enough. But I feel like Ole just played him for sentiment on Sunday, because the next 3-4 weeks, I don't think he's going to be even close to getting in the team. So
I should hope so, because if he's starting against Roma and Cavani's on bench or some Greenwood's on bench or some nonsense
that don't make no sense to me. I don't think we'll see him for another 3-4 weeks, to tell you the truth, because we've got Liverpool on Sunday, then Roma again, and then then it's just the league to the end of the season. So what I mean, and if we are going to take it a bit, we are going to take it serious and try to finish second, then I don't see him starting many games from now. So probably could be his last start for the rest of the season, So
right.
Yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
why I think Ole started him. But yeah, you're right. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. But the only thing is though, I wouldn't rush Ahmad in just yet. I don't think
I'm not saying rush him in. I'm saying give him at least 15. Like Van der Beek, 2 minutes off the bench is absolutely pathetic,
It
man.
don't make sense. That don't make no sense to me. Like he's someone as well. When you're playing a double low block, you need in to play a role. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he just was ignored to the last. Do you know what? All of our subs were ignored a bit too late on Sunday, and it frustrated the shit out of me. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, like this is the thing with Ali. I know obviously I've been a huge Ali fan, but this is the thing that he doesn't do himself any favors. Like, okay, fair enough, you could excuse the poor football because he's getting results, you know, fair enough. But in games like this, when it's like literally a blind man could see that Dan James and Scott McTominay had to come off. Like they were both offering absolutely nothing. And McTominay was worse, by the way. I'm not scapegoating
Yeah,
Dan
he
James.
was. I think he only made 7 forward passes out of 35 or something.
He was shocking. Obviously, people know what I think of
Wow.
McTominay, squad player and all that. McTominay was definitely worse, right? McTominay played the whole game, didn't you know? Like I think he stayed on the pitch. Like you got Van der Beek on the bench, you got Paul Pogba. Okay, fair enough, he's fasting. It is what it is. But then you got Cavani. Like you had so many options. People have been saying in the past, "Oh, Oli hasn't got options off the bench," and I would agree with that to an extent. He had absolutely no excuse this week, like against Leeds. And like I already said, it's not a game that has a lot of weight on it because we're not realistically going to come out of the top four. Of course, mathematically we still can, but there's not that much pressure on him for a bit. I know what? Let me get rid of Fred or one of them. I think Fred played it right actually. Let me get rid of one of them. Let's just be a bit more expansive and let's take a risk here because even if we lose the game, it's not the end of the world. And I think Van der Beek, man, the guys looked good the other day when he came on. I can't remember how many minutes he played the other day. 15 minutes. Yeah, come on, we scored twice when he's on the pitch. Like, give the guy a chance, Yusuf. Like, what are your thoughts, man, on this whole, like, late substitution, in-game management from Ali? Because sometimes he's got it right. He's sub Cavani on a half-time. He won the game second half. So, like, he's got it in him, but it's just so sporadic. You just don't know what's going through his head.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It pains me whenever I see Donny coming on at the 80-minute mark. I'm just like, how can you continuously keep doing this to and he's a high IQ footballer as well. So why would you leave a player like that on the fair enough, right? If he's not in your starting team, I get that. And if we can learn anything from Oli, he picks players who he relies on. And it's obvious with Big Fred. And going back to what you guys were saying about McTominay, did you say that he only made 7 forward passes in the whole game?
Yeah.
Oh my!
7.
During the game, I didn't think he had a great game.
He played the whole 9 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's because I actually think it's to do with running. I think. Do you know how Oli always goes on about fitness and always goes on about running and running hard in the opposition? And I think he even said after the game about Leeds that they usually outrun people. And the first thing he said was, "Oh yeah, but we were fine." And I think that's why he's afraid to sort of break the.
But this is my issue with like. This is the reason I'm on it out. There's no reason for him to be scared. In the game, it's almost a dead rubber game, right? It's not, but it's as close to a dead rubber game without it being a dead rubber game in terms of take a risk, put Van der Beek on with Fred. Like, I'm not saying start Pogba. I'm okay with that. I said that in the chat because he's fasting, and I wasn't that disappointed with the lineup. I've got to be honest. It was the lack of change during the game. It was quite clear that it wasn't working. Like at half time, okay, fair enough. I'll give the lads 5-10 minutes, right? Okay, I'm not going to criticize it for not making the sub at half time. That's calm. 55 minutes come, no sub. I'm thinking, okay, we'll give it another 5 minutes. Fair play. 60 minutes, 50 minutes, yeah. He doesn't do it. 60 minutes is the most. It's common sense that okay, let me bring Van der Beek on for 30 minutes here because Pogba can't come on. He's fasting. Doesn't make a sub. Waits to the 76th minute to bring on Pogba. So then we need a goal. He subs off Rashford for Cavani. Keeps Fred and McTominay on the pitch, right?
Yeah.
We need a goal and subs Cavani for 5 minutes. Like, what is he, Superman? And then on top of that, he eventually takes off. I don't even know who took off for Van der Beek. I don't even know who the sub was, but it was probably Greenwood. I don't actually know who it was. Like, I generally don't know. For 1 minute, it's like.
I think he's thinking about with Cavani. I think because I was watching the game and I was thinking, why is Cavani not coming on? And then I realized obviously he's going to start against Roma, but we're playing
Yeah,
Roma at home as
You
well.
can play 20 minutes, can't you?
No,
So,
of course,
like,
no. I totally agree with you, but I think that's what maybe he was thinking of. I think that's maybe why he took
but
Marcus off. I know Marcus has got an injury at the moment and he's playing
yeah,
through it, but even that in itself, he should. I don't know why he's playing Rashford. Like, give him a break for God's sake.
yeah, Rashford didn't need to play. Like I said, I don't think Ahmad is good enough to start. But if Dan
Yeah.
James is starting, then Ahmad could be starting.
Like I
Or
said, man,
as
Juan Mata could have started
Juan
that game
Mata, right wing, put Juan
easily,
Mata
Yeah,
right
great
wing.
shout. Great shout.
easy over
That's a
Dan
good shout.
James as well,
But
man.
but even you can still play Dan James. Put Dan James left wing. Put Greenwood up top. Put Juan Mata on the right. I'll be happy with that. Rashford, of all the players he needs to rest over Cavani and all these guys, Rashford's the guy because he's been the guy who's been getting us out of holes all season.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
be real, like,
And especially
you can
where
still-
like, you watch that first half and like Leeds offered nothing against us, and it's crazy because when you watch Leeds on Monday against Liverpool, they were all over Liverpool. So I was thinking, you know what, they are gonna come at us, and they didn't come at us at all. So I was thinking,
they
Ole,
feared us. They
half
actually genuinely
time.
feared us.
I thought at half time, just make the subs now. Let's just go for this now because it's there for the taking. But
Yeah.
we just got shook in it, and yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, that pissed me off at the weekend, man.
No, but this is what I'm saying to you, is like this is a game that he shouldn't have any fear in it because, like I said, there's nothing on the line here. Like even we could lose the next 2 games.
I
We could
think
lose against Liverpool, and you'd be no, we still should get top 4. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think it's because obviously it was a derby game, so like.
I just think it's excuses, man. I want better.
Yeah.
Like people might think I'm being harsh, or for me personally, it's been 2.5 years. We're coming up to 3 years now, and let's cut the nonsense. You got to bear in mind that team that Klopp inherited at Liverpool was absolutely dog shit compared to the team he inherited at Man United. And within 3 years, they were knocking on the door of a Champions League. They were in a final, but if I'm not wrong. You know, they lost to Real Madrid, and obviously in the 40th they won it, and then the 50th they won the league. Again, you can't sit here and say he's not had time now. He's been here for 3 years. I want to see something. Like, do you know what I mean? He's been here for a long time now. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm not lie to you, bro. There's no excuse for that performance at the weekend.
It's not even the performance. It's like, come on, show me something, bro.
Yeah. You're right, man. 76 minutes Dan James played. 76 minutes.
How was that? Like, and again, I don't want to scapegoat him. It wasn't just him. It could take anybody off. Like, it was even Bruno Fernandes fell in that category to an extent.
Yeah.
Although I felt sorry.
I did think Bruno was trying though.
Yeah,
you could see he was trying to do something.
What are your thoughts on Bruno? Because obviously the stat came out. You know, he hasn't scored in I don't know how many games, 15 or something along those lines, which is a lot for him. But for me personally, it's like everyone who's criticizing him for overplaying things is now criticizing him because he's not overplaying things. So like, I feel like he's kind of I know pre-assist isn't a thing, but if you look at the recent games, you know the goal. Who did we play against when Greenwood scored twice? I don't remember who it was.
Burnley,
yeah.
Was it Burnley? Right. So obviously there was one where Bruno dummies, Greenwood scores back stick. Was that Burnley as well? Was that Burnley?
Yeah.
And then the other one when he plays in Van der Beek, who plays it to Cavani. Like that's in the same game. Like obviously there's not to go into his stats and not that it matters, but I'm saying look, he is contributing to the games now, and overall I thought he was okay. He wasn't brilliant, but he was probably played better in those games without the Hollywood moment, if that makes sense. Like what are your thoughts, Yusuf, on Bruno Fernandes? Are you slightly worried about his situation, or you know? Where do you sit on the situation?
I'm not worried, no, because I just you can see the mentality that the guy has. You know, he's almost like he's a born winner. I don't think it affects him if he doesn't score for 5, 6, 10 games. And as you said, even in the Burnley game, he's still involved in all the goals. Like he dummies, amazing dummy for Greenwood, and then even in I think the one that sealed it for was it the one that Cavani tapped in? He plays he holds, but he makes the execution of the pass because Van der Beek could have gone offside, right? So it's it's fine lines, and I think obviously the stat people out there will be like, oh, he hasn't scored this, he scores penalties. I don't care, man. And just for me, whenever I see Bruno and Pogba on the pitch together, it just gives me so much joy because we have 2 world-class weapons. 100. You know how, and when Bruno plays on his own. You know, so against Leeds, for example, Calvin Phillips was following, was doing basically Ander Herrera on Hazard. Remember Ander Herrera when we used to play Chelsea, just following around, and Calvin Phillips was doing the same. But when you bring Pogba on, all the attention goes to him because you just know all the weapons that he possesses, and it frees Bruno and vice versa. And I think 100%. I think even today Bruno was in an interview. He was saying on the website about his relationship with Pogba and that. And I'll just be so sad if when Pogba, he probably will leave one in the summer, because I worry that, I don't know if you guys saw the story, but apparently Bruno is refusing to sign a new long-term deal if Pogba leaves in the summer.
I don't believe that. He just signed
Nothing's
last
true.
season.
Yeah,
He signed last January. He's on 4 years left anyway.
You think?
So.
I do think that
Yeah.
I'm sure he's trying to convince Pogba to stay, but I believe that though.
Well, the only thing that will convince Pogba, which is the next topic, is the and we'll get onto that very swiftly. Let me just get some of the comments, and obviously the United way to like and subscribe. If you haven't already, drop a like. It does make a huge difference. Just allows us to get out to more people. Ty, the homie, still working, but I've got the man down on iPad. You love to see it. And Ali's saying, even when we are 4-0 up from the first leg, he plays 60 minutes. I'm assuming that's to Bruno Fernandes, I think. Yeah, it's no abuse for Bruno. He's played every single minute. Gets 0 rest. That is a very valid point. The guy is only human. Let's get Big Ron's bit of an interesting comment. What's Bruno done in the last 5 games? He's still Calvin first part. Like we just said against Burnley, literally got the 2 pre-assists. That dummy to me is basically his assist. Like that dummy got the goal basically. Bayer deal helps Pogba's situation, and now the Europa League trophy will be the ice on the cake. Right, it was literally what Bayer's deal was the next topic. Right, I'm gonna just. Shall I get your last opinions first? Actually, let's get your last thoughts first because I'm very opinionated on this matter. Yeah, Arbiz will come to you first and foremost. Eric Bayer. I'm a huge fan of his work, but 4-year contract. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the length of contract is very suspect, but I'm happy that he's here, but it does hinder the fact: are we gonna go and sign a centre back this summer? The way our owners operate, it don't look like it. But the only thing is with Baye, man, it's the injuries, man. You know what I mean? Like he's only just made 100 appearances. I think last month,
bro,
or 2 months ago.
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years, but he was Jose's first signing.
That's a madness of a start.
And Harry Maguire's been here not even 2 years, and he's got more appearance than Baye. So like, I love Baye. I can tell he's good energy for everyone in the changing rooms. You can tell he gets on with everyone. He's a good vibe, but he needs to work on them injuries. And another year won't hurt, but we do need another centre back because I don't trust Lindelof as much in it. Like he has got a bit better this season, but for me, like he's not that centre back. He's not dominant. You know what I mean? And Baye brings that. And when Baye was in the team, we were top of the league
for 2 weeks.
We were top of the league, bro. You know what I mean? And then as soon as and I think a lot of us were saying like if he was to drop out. Do you know what I mean? United are going to fall because we need another centre-back. It's obvious. Absolutely. But it's the way the club operates, isn't it, man? And
you can say that again, bro.
Yeah, man.
You said that we were top of the league. Honest to God, it does really baffle me that he's not had a run of games since he's been fit. Because he has come... I know he had COVID recently and he's just... At this moment in time, he's recovering from that. But... he got injured when we were top of the league, and then he kind of came back, and then he's not really played. So I don't understand why he's got a 4-year contract. I'll go into it more detail. Yusuf, I'll pass it to you. Obviously, you've heard what our business said. Where do you sit on the whole sort of situation with Baye and the new contract?
Exactly the same. I mean, he's probably my favourite defender at the club. I mean, that's not even a debate. But as Biz said, he's played 8 league games this season. He played 4 last season. I mean, as I said, he just has to work on his fitness, and I don't know how he keeps getting injured. What's going on in training, his preparation for matches, and then I think that's why I think Solskjaer just looked at him and thought, you know what, I know Lindelof is not better than him, but I can trust him to play every single game.
Yeah,
and I need to build. Imagine building a defense is fundamental to any team, right? You want to be successful, and I think. He can't pick Eric Bailly to play with Maguire as much as I would like to see it, but he can't trust because Bailly might break down in a couple of games. Do you know what I mean? And we know when Bailly plays. Do you remember that game against Aston Villa? Was it Aston Villa where he made a block in the last second?
Yeah, there's one against Wolves as well.
The Wolves, yeah. And you see, and even remember last season when we played Chelsea away?
Yeah,
and he blocked, and he made that the Kovacic block.
I
saw it yesterday on my timeline, and I was just thinking to myself, we really had this guy at our club, and he just can't stay fit. And then, I mean, bringing it full circle, I mean, I think they've given him this contract, I think, to protect themselves, because I think, was he in his last year?
Yeah,
Would have
he
been
would have
last.
been.
Yeah. So I think maybe he's not gonna. I don't think he's.
4 years is so excessive to me. Like I know you can't just give him like a random 2-year contract or nothing like
Yeah.
that. It wouldn't make sense. But I don't know.
I think
4
maybe
years.
they're trying to protect themselves and thinking maybe they'll move him on, or maybe try to, because I think he'll have a lot of suitors out there. I was convinced that he was going to go to Inter Milan. I really thought.
Oh yeah, Inter Milan.
I thought that had him written all over it.
They're winning the league with all of our sort of dead ones. So,
Matteo Darmian's getting back-to-back winners in the game. What's going on,
happening?
man?
Ashley Young.
Ashley Young.
I honestly don't know what's happening. But listen,
Ashley Young got his hair back and he's all good again.
Yeah,
Isn't it? What was that all about, man?
Yeah, it's trimmed looking nice. No, I'm not gonna lie.
Got
Gives
a
the
fresh hairline.
3-year deal plus 1 year best centre back at the club, but next year is make or break. Give us leverage to sell and a good fee if the injuries occur again next season, rather than losing for free. Yeah, I suppose that is a valid point. I'm just gonna give my quick opinion. Let me just quickly get everyone else's because there's quite a few. Champions League, I'm gonna go straight into Glazer's pocket. He's also for buy Glazer deal. Don't expect anything magical this summer. Right, okay. So for me personally, right, and obviously I do the Rival Fan podcast every Monday, and we had Daniel on, who's from Eyes in the Bull. Shout out, Chelsea fan, of course. And after, I don't know if it was on air or after, I can't even remember. But we were talking about Varane, and to cut a long story short, why are we not going all out for Varane? I don't understand. Like, he's got 1 year in his contract. I'm not saying Varane's gonna leave, because, you know, he might be using this for a new contract. Who knows? However, 1 year on his contract, Varane is arguably one of the best defenders in the world. Yes, he's had a bit of a rough time in terms of form of late, but he's up there, top 5. Oh, no one would debate that. Someone would say top 3, arguably, like, on his day. Like, Varane's there for the taking. I just don't understand the situation with Bailly. And for me personally, it just screams out Glazers. This is the most typical Glazer signing you'll ever see in terms of, oh yeah, we've got X, Y, and Z here. We've got a new signing. I understand what Ty's saying by protecting the value of the player, and I get that point. But it's just bullshit for me. Like, be ruthless. Get rid of Bailly. Get rid of him. Get Varane. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, for me personally, it's the same with De Gea. Like, I'm not saying sell De Gea, but what I'm saying is, if you've got Dean Henderson and we can't sell De Gea for 40 million, sell him, because we need Sancho or Rice or whatever the position it may be. You need to start being ruthless. We can't just keep holding on to these players. You mentioned Darmian getting winners or whatnot. Fair play to him, but selling Darmian was a good thing. Selling players like that, Rojo, Pereira, hopefully as well in summer as well. Like, we've got to start selling these players and moving them on. Bailly's had his time now. I love the guy. He's the best centre back at Man United for me, without a shadow of a doubt. But as Yusuf correctly said, when is he going to break down again? We can't be taking gambles, because let's be real, Bailly, if he stays fit for the whole season, we'd be in the title race right now. Not because we deserve to be, but that's how much of an impact he had on us at that moment in time. With those clutch moments, he's basically scoring goals. He was saving us points with his last ditch defending. Let's be real. Like, those 2-3 games that put us top of the table, Bailly was arguably man of the match in all them games. And if that's a Varane, we could actually be challenging. That's what I mean. It's the difference. Varane will stay fit, Bailly won't. So for me personally, we need to start being ruthless. Mata, I love the guy. Ship him on. Like, get rid of these guys. Why are they still here? Like, it's just too much for me. I just think there's too much sentiment at this club, from the fans, from the bloody board, all this nonsense. I just think we need to start being ruthless, man. Bailly's not that guy, man. He's not going to stay fit. Like, I love the guy to bits. Great vibes, but what is he going to bring to us in 4 weeks, man? The guy's not fit. Like, what are your thoughts of is that Varane? Come on, man. Like, go get Varane. Tuanzebe's there as a backup. Tuanzebe, for me, is actually massively underappreciated. Like, man put an absolute worldly performance against Mbappe and, like, not even had a chance. Like, elevate Tuanzebe up a bit if you needs be, but get Varane for me. Sell by. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, we definitely, like I said, man, we definitely need a centre back, regardless if Bailly signs a contract or not, man. Like, if we want to have a winning mentality again, man. Like, look, we're allowing Man City, our neighbours, to just come and just take over. Like, this is sick. This is coming. This is beyond the joke now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, like, if we want a winning mentality, bro, even though Bailly signed his contract, we should still be going to sign another centre back.
Sell him and buy another one, man. I don't know, man. I honestly think, like, I think if obviously you watched the Spurs game, they said Man City won that 4 times in a row. I know it's not like the greatest of trophies, but it doesn't matter. 4 years in a row, bro.
I know. Makes
What's
me
his
sick.
name? Foden's won 11 trophies when they win the league this year. 11 trophies at 21. That used to be Man United. They're basically Man United now. Like, what we used to do under Fergie is basically them. There's none of this there, noisy neighbours. They've overtaken us, not in history terms, but in terms of, like, who is the bigger club at the moment, or the more sort of, obviously, the better prospect to go to for as a player. It's like we're in their shadow now, and this is because we're not being ruthless enough, and the Bayou thing just reeks of we'll save money on a defender. That's what it reeks of. Like, we've got Twan Sabi, he'll come good. He's 1 year older. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And we got I don't know.
Look what City are doing. They're allowing arguably their greatest ever striker to leave. They're moving on. They're moving on from that. And there's like thanks for everything, but see you later. We want.
Exactly. If you think that their golden eras has left within the last 4 years, each one have left. I think it was.
No issue.
It started with Yaya Toure, then it was Company, then it was David Silva, now it's Aguero.
Good point.
You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
When we lost our last golden period, we died completely, bro. All 5 of them retired.
Our recruitment. That's the thing. They recruit. Look. So like Fernandinho, right? Doesn't play he still plays, but look, they've already bought Rodri. Do you know what I mean? Gundogan. The elevation is always there. And look, Cancelo, they bought. Right, they got rid of who was it before? They had Mangala. So the Company obviously was there.
That's Sanya, Clichy, and all these.
Replaced Carl Walker, great. You know what I mean? They bought Mendy. Then even Mendy, they're not happy with Mendy. Then Zinchenko came in. Because people forget, I think Zinchenko wasn't very expensive either, but he's even picked ahead of him now. And then now Cancelo plays left back when they're probably full strength, and then Walker right back, and every position. And then it's like they bought Gabriel Jesus.
Cancelo's going to replace Walker, isn't it?
You could
probably, and that's what I mean. We haven't our recruitment as Biz said. We died literally. We didn't replace any of the. I know you can't replace Scholes. I understand that players like that are once in a generation.
The thing is, Scholes retired, and we had to beg him to come back.
And the irony of that is, we probably lost Pogba as a result, because he thought, well, hold on, I'm here, I'm coming through.
Yeah.
And then, okay, fine, I'll go now, and then that's the problem.
Pogba and Fergie would have been really interesting. To be fair, oh my god, he would have been a good player, man. But listen, let's go on to the Europa League game. As the title suggests, Europa League or bust. I have got Roma's results. I have got Roma's form table here, apart from the games against Ajax, which I'm going to disregard. The league form is absolutely shocking.
1 in 7,
Bro, what the hell? Like, obviously, I know they've had a good period in March. The reason I know that is because every Tom, Dick, and Harry kept reminding me that Smalling and X, Y, and Z is scoring Mkhitaryan. In saying that, they didn't really do particularly well in March. They lost to Parma 2-0 and Napoli 2-0. But yeah, just their recent form. Bar the Ajax result, they've practically lost every game of late. Like they won Bologna, but that's not really an achievement. They got slapped by Torino 3-1. Drew to Atlanta 1-1. Is it Cagliari? I think that's how you pronounce it. They beat them 3-2, which was the most recent game on the weekend. But going to the Roma game, our business come to you first and foremost, bro. How are you feeling, man? You guys know my thoughts. We have to win this game. I'm not respecting them at all. I'm gonna be honest.
No, not at all.
How are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, not at all, man. Like Milan are a better team than them, and we knocked Milan out. So I'm pretty confident. And we've got a really decent record against Roma. I think we've only lost 1 in 7 or 8 against them, and we've beaten them, slapped them 7-1, famous game. You know what I mean, man? We've got a brilliant record against them. The only thing that worries me slightly a bit about them is that they score a lot of goals from set pieces, and you already know what we're like defending set pieces. So that's the only thing that worries me about them. And they're not bad. Decent team on the counter. They're not that bad. But apart from that, man, I'm not worried about them. I think we should beat them. And this time for Ole, instead of all the other semi-finals where they've just been a one-off game, this is a 2-legged game. So if you do make a mistake...
bro, I was going to say that he's got absolutely no excuse now.
Yeah, there's no excuses this time, man. But I feel like we're a bit too strong for them, and I think we'll beat them, man. Like they concede a lot of goals as well. I know they score a bit, but they also concede a lot. And yeah, Italian league is not what it used to be, is it? So, and the thing is, they're not even anywhere near the top 6 at the moment. I don't think. I think they're like 7th or 8th at the moment, but they're not even going to get in the top 6. So yeah, realistically, man, we should be putting these lot to bed, man.
Yeah, well, obviously Smalling's their main man, isn't it, really, in terms of defence. But listen, let's get your thoughts, Yusuf, before I give you my thoughts.
Smalling's been out for out for a little bit as well. He's only just came back from Sunday.
But obviously, first and foremost, as we're speaking of him, hopefully him and his family are okay, man. Bloody hell, that was crazy.
Yeah.
So if Smalling's family, I believe someone broke into the house and held their family at gunpoint or knife point. I can't remember which one, but either way, it is the same thing, isn't it, really? And so that mentally, like, hopefully he's good, man. First and foremost. But what are your thoughts, Yusuf? Obviously, RB is correctly saying that they're shocking at the moment. They've got a couple of decent players that we're aware of, but realistically speaking, this should be a walk in the park. What do you reckon?
I mean, yeah, on paper, I think I always back us. I don't really care who we play, but I'm actually worried. I'm worried because of everything you guys have just said. In the sense that they've won 1 in 7 league games. They're basically doing what Arsenal are doing. All the focus is on the Europa League, right? They can't get in Champions League now. As Biz rightly said, I was watching highlights of them actually, and they're a big physical side. They've got a centre half called Cristante, who they signed from Atalanta, and he's a bit of a nutcase, and he's going to ruffle a few feathers, I guarantee you. Smalling has just come back from injury, so it'll be interesting to see if he plays. But I think he might play because of sentiment, maybe. But he's been injured all season. He's only played, I think, 15 league games out of 33. But they've got a couple of, for example, Mkhitaryan is playing really well. He's got, I think, 9 league goals, and obviously Edin Dzeko, we all know about him. So they've got weapons, and Pedro obviously as well.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously we've got loads of weapons, so I always back us. But that's why I'm just a little bit nervous because
actually, they also got a centre back called Fazio, who was absolutely garbage.
Oh god,
at Spurs, man, he was useless.
Oh, it's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
No,
he's like really tall guy. Yeah, he can't move. He's like immobile, literally. I don't think he will play. I hope he does, but I think because of Smalling's back now, I think Smalling will play.
Can you imagine he's playing against Rashford?
No. He played on Sunday. He scored, Fazio.
Oh,
he played on Sunday. Yeah, they rested. I think they rested a lot of players. I know that.
Okay,
I don't think Dzeko played. Yes, for
Mkhitaryan didn't start.
Mkhitaryan. They've got a guy called Pellegrini, who's a really good player. We've been linked with him actually in the past. He's a really good central midfielder actually. So they've got some. As I said, they've written off the league. So, but that's why I'm worried because obviously, whoever plays against Man United, it's their biggest game, isn't it? So that's why I'm worried a little. I'm a little bit nervous that we expect to win. But I don't know who said it earlier, but the fact that remember last year it was just the one game against Sevilla, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously, we have the 2 legs. Hopefully,
Smalling played on the week. I've just got it up now.
Yeah. They lost to 17th. They lost to the 17th place team in Serie A.
Cagliari. Yeah. I've been there, but I don't know how to pronounce it, which is
Cagliari.
I think you pronounce it Calgary. I think that's how you say it.
Oh,
Calgary. That's it.
Calgary. Yeah. I didn't want to have to do that, but sorry.
No, should have. No, please do that. I'm not going to take offense to it. I don't want to be butchering. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that makes I've heard of them now. Right, yeah, but Smalling played for 59 minutes. Just having a quick look at their team. There's not. Really
I watched the highlights of that game. Defensively, they are all. They play out from the back. They're so nervous though on the ball.
Still there.
Yeah, he barely played. I think he's been injured for a long time.
Yeah, he's on the bench.
They had a serious injury. Yeah.
Mkhitaryan got subbed on. Dzeko got subbed on. It'll be interesting to see what happened. When did the goal?
They've got one player. Obviously, you guys know who Douglas Costa is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They've got their own version of Douglas Costa. He's a guy called Carles Perez. He's just like those left-footed players that the ball just sticks to them and they can just like we've got with Ahmad. When Ahmad gets the ball, you just look at him and go, "Wow, they've got to play like that." So I'm a bit worried about him.
And that
Right,
was it.
we got-
Mayoral, that's their top scorer.
Borja
this
Mayoral,
season.
yeah, he's got 15 goals. Yeah,
Yeah.
All
he's
right,
from Real Madrid. Yeah, he's from Real Madrid. He's a good player.
let's just get this comment on here because this is exactly my thoughts. Yeah, in fact, not actually, maybe not completely exactly my thoughts, but whether Ali wins it or not, he just needs to go. This is Manchester United. Listen, obviously, keep getting your comments in. I will put more on the screen. I've noticed I don't do that enough on the show, so obviously I've been told off. Yeah, so let's just talk about the importance of this because I'll put in the title Europa League or bust. You know, I don't want to go into too much detail with the preview itself, but for me personally, right, and you said it there yourself, obviously, it's got two bites to the cherry or the apple or whatever you want to call it this time. How important is it that first and foremost, the first legs at home, how important is it that he shows us what we're about? Because for me personally, you know, we're the better team on paper, and we've got to stamp our authority. I'm sick and tired of teams like AC Milan. Again, no disrespect to AC Milan. I know they're doing well this year. I'm a huge fan of Milan, etc. But the fact that they came to OT and they passed us off the pot the way they did, I know it was a draw, but the way they played against us at our own stadium, that cannot be allowed against these kind of teams, man.
Not
You
at
said it
all.
yourself, the Italian leagues is a lot slower. Why are we allowing teams to get into the game, allowing them to settle into the game? Surely we gotta be in the front four. We got obviously not what Man City did to Spurs because that's just elite what they did, but at least be on the front four from minute one, pressing high up the pitch. I want to see some intensity. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I want to see us boss the game in it from start to finish. I don't want to see us get opened up at all. Don't want to see us get out passed. Just, you know what I mean? Let's just show what Man United's about. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just take it to them. You know what I mean? Instead of waiting for them to come to us and then try hit them on the break and the usual. So you know what I mean? Like, we need to go out and get the win, keep a clean sheet, take it back to. Obviously, we're at home first, aren't we? So
Yeah,
keep a clean sheet. You know what I mean? So they don't get an away goal, then we can get there, get an away goal, and then just try and sit it out. But yeah, first leg, man, we need to be putting it to them as well because they have a lot of players that are gonna smell a little bit of blood against us. You know what I mean? Mkhitaryan's gonna want a little revenge. Smalling's gonna want revenge. Dzeko, he's a City boy, so
Dzeko's gonna be a threat, man. He's the guy I'm worried about most, actually.
Pedro, Chelsea boy as well, so and Barcelona as well, so we've got to be on our A game on Thursday. And to be honest, but we've had a week off. Like, I know all this Super League bollocks has all happened and that, and it didn't feel like a week off, but we've had a little time off, man. And I was a bit annoyed how we played on Sunday, but you know what I mean? If we reserved ourselves that much, I don't see why we shouldn't be on the forefront against these lot. I want to see the way we played against Tottenham in the second half. I want to see that against Roma because I keep saying this Roma team is just not great. It's not the Roma team of the past, and even in the past we were battering Roma. So let's keep it up, man.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yusuf, what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, I completely agree with Biz again. Again, I think my worry is that they're going to sit back, especially in the first leg. Let us have the ball, and that's where we really seem to struggle. We love space. That's what we love. We love seeing Marcus break free, and they're gonna clamp that down. Unfortunately, they're gonna say, okay, fine, let Fred have the ball, let McTominay have the ball. Then Bruno's gonna drop deeper. He's gonna get frustrated because he's gonna, and then I think Pogba will probably play on the left hand side. I imagine.
Yeah. But Pogba has to start.
100%. I mean, I think that's why he probably didn't start at Leeds. Obviously, of course, it's Ramadan as well. But I mean, he has to start. I hope he does.
We'll get into our lineup now, actually, if you want. You've said Pogba left wing. I'm gonna kick it off. Actually, I normally go last, but I'm gonna start. Right. So in terms of the net, we haven't actually even spoken about it. Actually, De Gea or Henderson. It's gonna have to be De Gea, hasn't it? Surely, cup keeper now. Viking Red, yes, Viking Red. Hopefully, Yoban as well, absolute legend. Yeah, I'm gonna keep De Gea in there. Defense speaks for itself. We don't need to, the back four is back four now. Midfield for me, this is where it's gonna change. I'm gonna put Fred in there. You said they got a really physical team out there, so that probably doesn't make sense, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So I'm gonna put Fred in there. And I'm going to put Paul Pogba next to him in midfield. I'm not having this McTominay and Fred bullshit. I know it's not going to happen. This is the team I would personally pick. So just bear that in mind. I'm not the manager. This is me. Ollie's not going to do that. We know what he's going to do. He's probably going to put McFred on there, but this is me. Pogba, Fred, we're at home, win the bloody game at home, and then take it to them, away from home. In camp, Bruno Fernandes, no-brainer. Yes, Bruno hasn't been doing it of late, but nonetheless, he's the guy. He's the go-to guy. Left mid, Marcus Rashford. Right wing, Mason Greenwood. Up top, Cavani. Win the bloody game at home. Simple as that. Like, go, press them high up the pitch and force them into errors. If Smalling is playing, right, for all his ability in the air and, his defensive attributes and what he's got, he is absolutely dog shit on the ball. We as Manchester United fans know that more than anybody. If Smalling is playing, I want them to be pressing his every single touch. I'm not having it. I'm not having any excuse for Smalling to have time on the ball and allow him to shift his whole body weight so he can make a 5-yard pass to the right. Like, we got to be in the faces. We got to be at home. And the team that I put out, honest to God, we should boss the game, should boss the midfield. And for me personally, we got goals in it. So that's the lineup I'm going for. Biz, what are your thoughts and what you're going for?
My team is, I'm going to put Henderson in because I'm a bit worried about these lot from set pieces, and De Gea just doesn't give me much confidence. So I'm going to go with Henderson. Back four speaks for itself, but apart from Lindelof, I'm going to throw Bailly in. If he's fit, ready to go, why not, man? And in the Europa League, he's played the majority of our games, and we've got a very decent record at the back. Okay. So back four: Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire, and Shaw. And in midfield, it's gonna have to be McFred, man. It'll have to be McFred and Pogba, and then then Bruno, Cavani, and Rashford. And I don't think Mason will start. It's a semi-final. He's still a kid, man, and he can come on and bring a bit of an impact. But yeah, I'll go Cavani and Rashford up front and have a diamond.
Okay, fair enough. I think that what you just said there in terms of the front six is what's going to be on the sheet, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it at all. But I just don't.
Do you know what? I'd rather go for your. I would love Ole to start with your team because he started with that team.
Because I want to win the game 4-0, and that's why.
2-1
or some shit like that. So we're all sweating away from home and thinking, if Roma score first, then we've lost. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just win the game at home. Like, do you know what I mean? 3-0, blow them away, man. You should be winning the game in the first 30 minutes. That's what I would do. Go for the kill, man. They're nothing special. Yusuf, what do you reckon, bro? What's your lineup? Are you going for mine? Business, a mixture of both? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a mixture of both. I mean, I like both, to be honest. But as Biz was going through his team, I was just having a really bad feeling actually that because Pogba is fasting, I know it's kickoffs at 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
open at 8.
I'm concerned that whatever his energy level is going to be like, with everything that he's gone through this season, from having COVID,
he seemed like he was struggling a bit when he came on. I'm not gonna.
That's
lie.
what I'm saying. So I'm a little concerned.
10 minutes.
I'm now having second thoughts that Biz was saying before that Pogba has to play, and obviously he must play every game. But I'm now concerned that he might not play him, and just kind of think, okay, fine, we'll see how we get on.
If he doesn't play Pogba and plays Dan James on that left wing, I'm in a riot, bro.
I think Dan James won't play.
I'm at you first, bro, on that group chat. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you.
If he doesn't start Pogba, man, Donny has to start. If he's not going to start Pogba, you have to start Donny.
One of them has to play, man.
I think in goal, I think he will play De Gea. I think he'll rotate. I think I would like to see Henderson as Biz said. I'm a bit nervous when I think De Gea is reluctant to come out.
You're right.
De Gea is obviously reluctant to come out and collect. De Gea is a better goalkeeper, and I'm a huge De Gea fan. But I just think they're a very physical side, and I can just picture it now. Dzeko standing on De Gea on his feet, and then you've got Smalling there, who's I think 6'4" as well. So I'm concerned, and I think the other centre half is I think it's called Ibanez. He's also a bit crazy as well. So we're going to come up against some characters. We're going to be shouting at the screen.
He's got loads of crazy players in there.
Crazy players, yeah. And then back four. I think as you guys said, speaks for itself. I can't see anybody coming in. You know what? I like what Biz said. I would love if Bailly played. But I just think that
I didn't even bother because I know that.
I know. I think Lindelof will play with Maguire. Do you know what? To be fair, I'm not
good, man. I think that long ball. I'm liking it. It's adding variety to attack.
He's grown on me. I'm not his biggest fan, but recently when I'm watching him playing, I'm like, I really like. And listen. It's not about being proven wrong as a fan. You just want to see your club win, right? Every game. I don't really care who plays. We all have our favorite players, of course, but ultimately, like I know you guys have spoke about Dan James, and I'm not his biggest fan either. But if he plays, I just want the best for him. As long as he's contributing to the team, right? That's all I care about. But if he's affecting the team and not in a positive way, then I agree with you that Oli, he can't allow players to keep playing and playing like 70, 80 minutes and having a negative impact on the game. And that's what happened against Leeds. I don't want to talk about Leeds again, but that's what was happening, right? I think in midfield, it'll be McFred, you know, big European game. Matic is not going to play. I mean, it's a shame because Matic is a better footballer than both of them.
To be fair, Matic, we haven't mentioned him. He might be a shout alongside Pogba. You know, I'm not gonna. I know it won't happen, but
he's just. I think I think Solskjaer loves that high energy, and I think Fred. That's the thing. When you look at
Matic's
I think that
experience.
You know how our fan base is like. There's an obsession to we have to have this CDM, right? I feel like I keep hearing it all the time every time I go online. And the problem that we have is that Fred is our fittest midfielder, right? But he's the least able out of the three. I think so personally. But McTominay is probably the best at getting up and down, right? Physically, he's a massive guy, isn't he? But Matic is the best footballer out of the three, and that's the problem. That's why we're playing Fred every game, aren't we? Because it's like compensating for the deficiencies of one player.
We need Matic with McTominay's fitness, basically.
Yeah. It's the legs, isn't it? The issue, and I think Oli. That's why.
That's all it is.
So, and then up front, I would love to see. Do you know what I think? Because we're playing at home, I think he might play Greenwood actually, and I hope he does because he has to go for it, right? I mean, and he's in great form at the moment.
Who's their fullback?
They've got. You know what? I've looked. They've got.
I've got the name, but I don't know.
Caliafori, I think his name is. And
is he any good?
But as I said, they rotated on their last game, so I don't actually. I think it's
Karsdorp.
Oh, they've got Karsdorp as well. Yeah, that's the thing. They've got so many players. It's like, I don't know who they'll unless they'll play a back five. Will they play a back
five?
All
shit, man. They're all shit. People should find out all of them. Let's just call them. These mans are 8 or whatever it is in the bloody Italian league. With all due respect to the Italian league, AC Milan is second. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, or third or whatever it is.
Usmaan, though, we lost to Sheffield United at home. This is why I think about this. This is why I worry.
No. I'm not having it. If Oli doesn't get through this game, I swear to God, he best hand in his resignation. If he does not beat Roma with 2 legs.
You're right. No, you're right, bro. I can't even defend him for that.
Bro, I'm going to keep it short, and I've said it. I've been consistent with this. If he does not win the Europa League, he's not winning any trophy at Man United. It's as simple as that. Because the League Cup, Man City will win that. FA Cup, you got Arsenal to beat. Obviously, Arsenal, a brilliant example. But you got Liverpool, Chelsea, even Spurs to an extent. You flipping got, got all of these other good teams in there. I've said Arsenal and Spurs.
Usmaan, quick question then. Quick question for both of you then. If you want, because I'm getting the impression that you want Oli to be gone, right? Is that what you're saying?
Our business Oli in, I'm Oli out.
Okay, so to you, Usmaan, if you want him gone, right? Who do you want to replace him then? Because I can't see anybody.
Well, I wanted Nagelsmann, but that's obviously I'm good about Poch, Nagelsmann, or any of them. Like, do you know what I mean? One of them. I'd say Ten Hag now. To be honest, I don't want Oli to get sacked, right? If it's Allegri, I swear to the Lords, if Allegri or only these random pragmatic wannabe managers come in, I don't want to see none of. I want to see a guy who comes in whose first intention is attacking football. Like, that's their actual. Like, when they come to the interview,
what's with the Allegri hype though? I never get.
I don't want Allegri. I do not want Allegri. I'd rather keep Ali. Like, not because Ali's better, but I can't be asked to go through another cycle of pragmatic football and. Someone's put Zizou, he's never going to come. Viking Red, Zizou's never going to bloody come. But listen, let's get our score prediction. Obviously, just quickly before we do that, actually, who do you think is going to be the main threat from Roma? For me personally, it has to be Edin Dzeko. Like, I know people are going to think, why him? He's 35. But as I said to the lads earlier yesterday, well, the last 35-year-old Demba Ba violated us. So, Dzeko has never particularly had pace. He's always been an acute kind of footballer in terms of in the box, and he's got height on him. He's got ability to score within the air. And as we guys know, our ability in the air, any decent quality delivery is going to cause the problem. Mkhitaryan also, he could be a threat as well because he likes to find those pockets of space in and around the back four. And if McFred's playing, Mkhitaryan might have a field day, to be honest. Because they're not. Fred's okay, but McTominay isn't the best at picking players up. Like, he just lets people drift. So, Yusuf, we'll come to you first this time. What do you reckon? Who do you think is going to be the major? Who do we need to worry about the most from them?
I wish I could say one player, but I think they've got 2 or 3 players that are like very you know, it's the high IQ players that I worry about and I think that they've got Pedro. I mean, his career speaks for itself. I know he's a lot older now, but
Very high IQ player though.
Henrik Mkhitaryan, I know it didn't work out for us, but since he's gone to Rome, I know, and Arsenal obviously didn't work out either. But since he's gone to Roma, he's actually done really, really well. And he's another. I remember when Mourinho signed him, and he was like, "Oh, he's a specialist wide player." Do you remember when he said that when he signed him, and then never played him? It was really strange. But yeah, so I think players when they get sold and they're told that we don't want you anymore, they're obviously going to be carrying that. And I think obviously he will want. I think he scored against us, didn't he, for Arsenal, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. So
the rat.
I'm going to say, I'm going to say just I don't know. I'm going to say Pellegrini, the central midfielder. I think I have a feeling that he's going to have a good game.
Fair enough. Obviously, you can't say the same player, don't worry. It's not.
Yeah, nah. I was about to say Mkhitaryan, man, because he was actually a player I actually liked, and I thought, you know what?
Fan of Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, me too,
man. And I thought Jose killed him, man. I thought, like, you remember when we started the season off when we were battering teams 4-0 every game? That was down to him. He got 5 assists in the first couple of games,
bro. He carried the ball. He got 3 assists or something in one game. He carried the ball.
I think it was Swansea away.
Yeah, Swansea away.
Swansea away. Yeah, I remember that game.
We were just slapping teams up, and then as soon as when Pogba got injured, and then his form just dipped, and then the whole team just died, man. And but for me, he's definitely going to be one to look out for. Like Yusuf was saying, that he's been pretty decent this season, man. A few games I've seen of him, he's been assisting, he's been scoring, he's been looking like the Mkhitaryan from Dortmund. So I'm a bit worried about him, but I'd say he's probably the main threat.
But he would have been so good with Bruno, man, and Pogba.
Oh, man.
Imagine we had a front. I know this doesn't really make much sense, but if we had like Pogba, Bruno, and Mickey in that team somehow, like that would have been, instead of Van der Beek, with all due respect to him.
Mickey could have been our right winger right now, to be fair.
That's what I'm saying. Like Mickey drifting off that right wing with Bruno, link up with Pogba. What could have been? But anyways, let's get our score predictions. I'm gonna say mine first because I've actually already said it last night, so I have to stick to it. I'm gonna stick to 2-1 Man United just because it's Ollie, and he probably will just scrape it. As long as we win, I suppose I'll take it. But our business, what do you reckon, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0. I said that yesterday, so 1-0, man.
To who?
I can see it, bro. I can see it, man.
1-0 to who?
United.
Just Smalling and that, Oh shit! Yusuf, what do you reckon, bro?
You know what? I was gonna say 1-0, but I feel like I should say something different now. You know what? I'll be. You said 2-1, Usmaan, right? And Biz said 1-0, so I'm gonna say 1-1.
Oh right, what? I think
one.
it's a 2-0 or something.
I want to say 1, just because I think Smalling's gonna score off it, and he's gonna out jump Maguire. I can just see it now.
I can see that happening. I fully can see that happening, and I
hate
it. So Viking Reds put 7-1 United. You love to see it. I don't know. God, it's gonna be a dead game basically. Let's put it that way. Hopefully we score early. Highlighting. I don't think there'll be highlight, but rapid and behind, job done. And just wipe the floor over. But listen, that has been your podcast / preview. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, Glazers out. Business. Go on.
Big up. That's why I want to big up you and everyone that was down at the protest the other day, bruv. Like, big up, man. Like,
not gonna lie.
Bro, listen, Glazers out, bruv, all day long.
I don't know if you've seen my vlog, right? Whoever's seen the vlog, Viking Red was the individual talking who was in the middle of the circle. So in the middle of the vlog, that's Viking Red. First time I met him as well. Like, this guy always watches he's been watching my videos since I got like 50 subscribers. Like, genuinely, right? He's been watching, and I've never met him. And I randomly, the first person I met on the day was him. It was a great moment. But yeah, also just to echo our business, like, huge shout out to everyone that turned up. Make sure you turn up on Sunday as well. We got the protest 2.0, so to speak. I don't even know what day of the week is, but we haven't got a video tomorrow, but we will have a video on Thursday, which is a watch along. As always, show love to our guests. Starting with Biz, already says it there in his handle, but in case they don't know, where can the people find you, bro?
Yeah, just follow me at DJ RB's Twitter, Instagram, at Trafford Tunnel, never a foul. Hit us up.
Yes, you love to see it. Make sure you show love to the boys, obviously. Ty and DJ Daps, obviously, the homies as well. Yusuf, tell people where they can find you. You're at, honestly, God, is so long to type up when I'm tagging. You know how many times I made a mistake? That other week I made a mistake and I thought I'm not doing it now. I'm not. That's why I just put unused to. I don't know if you noticed it or not. But yeah, where can they find you, Yusuf, bro? Let the people know, man.
Yeah, man, it's just at Vibe since the 90s on Twitter, man. I'm new to the whole social media thing, so yeah, I know no one's really gonna follow me, but yeah, that's what it is.
I got to show him
Nah,
some love.
bro.
He's going to be
I'm gonna follow you right now, bro.
If he wants to be, he'll be
Appreciate
a
that,
regular
man.
on my
Thanks.
platform anyways, obviously. Got to represent the homies. But listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, as always, for everyone tuning in. Viking Wrestling, respect, Usmaan. Respect to you, brother, obviously, for turning up. Great show, lads. Thank you very much. It's been your boy back on Thursday with the watch along. Hopefully, Man United prove us all wrong and